All right, well, Community Focus on Channel 6 TV. I'm Kenny Fogle, your host, and we're going to come down to one of the biggest landmarks in the Bardstown area for sure. I mean, a lot of people, when they come to Bardstown, whether you've been in this area for a long time, just visit for a while, or maybe just come once in a while and just a very long time, you probably know the building with the bull on top. I know it's actually been in nationals. I still remember waking up in Okinawa, Japan one time and seeing Jimmy Carter had come to town. They were talking about Boone's Butcher Shop on the Johnny Carson show that night. So I got Jerry Boone here with me, the head man here at Boone's Butcher Shop. Jerry, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Kenny.
Well, you've been doing this quite a while. I think this is how many has been the generations? How many generations is this in your family now?
I'm second generation. My son Matthew is third generation. My dad started in 1946.
So you pretty much grew up knowing everything about the meat industry, or what it is to do that turns what goes on livestock in the field to something on our table.
Definitely. I grew up in this business, and it's the only thing I know.
Okay, well, in the last few years, I mean, you just had a grand opening here a few weeks ago. You've changed around. I mean, this place looks a lot different. The looks are different. Actually, this is probably how many locations have you been at since you've been doing it?
This is the only location, a new building that we started in that we came in 2005, but the location's been the same from day one.
But it looks a little bit different.
Definitely different, yes.
Well, we're going to take a walk around here right now. Like I said, you've got every kind of product there is. You go from pork to beef to venison to chicken. I mean, and not just meat, but that's primarily.
Yes, we do. Now, venison, of course, we do not sell. It's against the law to sell it, but we do process a lot of venison.
So,
yes.
I guess that's what I meant. I know some people bring their kill down here, and you take care of it for them. So this is sort of a one-stop shop for just about any kind of product they want, but you know your meat.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, I know we've talked before the difference in all the different cuts of meat, and you have to know that obviously well, and there's some just a little bit better than others, but it all means about the same to you?
Well, not necessarily, but I mean, meat is like anything else. You got a Cadillac and you got a Volkswagen. Just depends on your pocketbook.
There you go. All right, well, we're going to take a look around here right now. We'll take an area in the back that we don't normally ever get to see. This is the part you're out in the lobby, and it's a beautiful lobby and everything, but we might take a little walk back in the back and see the parts that most people don't get to see. Okay, now, Jerry, what are we looking at right now?
Right now, that is our sausage linker. He's making some bratwurst that we'll sell in the next few days for the holiday. And you put it in the top here, and it comes out in links. It's going into a collagen casing.
All right, well, we're over in the processing part now. We're like I said, this is where the parts that you don't get to see much. There's a lot of different meat here. It looks like it's not like what I envisioned. I figured it'd be about like the thing on Rocky where he walks in, you have all the cattle hanging down.
Well, I can show you that here in just a second. This is where they're actually processing beef right here. He's got a hind quarter here on the table that he's taking down into primal cuts. On this table here, they're doing some deboning for to make some burger and so forth. And we've ground and made into hamburger patties later.
Well, absolutely. I've never seen a hamburger patty made, so I guess so. Basically, this is the start of what they're looking at now is a baby hamburger.
That's exactly right. That's what we call beef trimmings, and we'll grind it from there and turn it into hamburger, and then run it through a machine later.
All right. So what kind of the beef is this? I know you say beef trimmings. Is this leftover, say, from some other kind of ribeye or something else like that?
It could be the trimmings off the ribeye, T-bone, any steak meat or anything like that. Yes.
All right, just so nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. That's right.
All right, now this was the part I was expecting. Now, is this the initial stage? I mean, when the day you get the animal in, what happens the next day?
Okay, now this is not the initial stage. It comes in, and of course we harvest it, and then now this beef that we're looking at here has been hanging probably for 10 days to 2 weeks. We'll let them hang that long before we cut them. In the back of the cooler, you'll see fresher ones that were just put in here earlier today.
All right, so you keep it a good temperature in here. It's not frozen, but it's certainly not warm in here.
We try to keep it 30 degrees. Meat will not freeze until it reaches 28. It's not like water. It takes 28 degrees to freeze meat.
All right, well, we got the meat trimmings now, and now it's been ground down, and we're gonna make a hamburger.
That's right.
Basically, what you're seeing now is the next step and what a hamburger is going to look like right before you put it on your grill. And don't get any fresher than this now, does it?
No, it does not. Now, this machine forms it into a patty, and it puts papers in between them. So when you they're easier to get apart.
Yeah.
Just take a knife and pry them apart. I always cook them frozen. I don't even thaw them out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the way I've always done it. And then you have different sizes for different. I know when you go out there in the shelf, you got different selections to have. Is there any one better than the other, or you prefer, or is they all pretty much the same?
They're all pretty much the same. I mean, some's thicker than others, and some are thinner, of course. And just depends on your cooking preference, really.
There you go. So, is there a ratio of lean to fat or anything like that on this, or how do you determine that?
Well, we determine as we're cutting it. A standard ground beef is normally approximately 70 to 75% lean and 25 to 30% fat. But we make a ground chuck, which is 80-20. We make a sirloin, which is about 90-10.
Yeah, well, I like the fat, to be honest with you. The more fat, the better it is.
That's where your flavor comes from. You're exactly right.
All right. What are we looking at now?
Okay, this is a smokehouse, and actually what I'm doing here is cooking and drying down some bones for dog bones.
Okay.
It's bones we save off the beef we process here, and we sell a lot of them for people with their dogs.
All right. Well, yeah, dogs, they got to eat too, and they love meats and the bones. So, yeah, like I said, there's nothing goes to waste.
Right, and the thing about it, these are fully cooked, so if one was to get lost in your house somewhere, it's not going to rot because it is fully cooked. So you don't have to worry about that as much.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the cuts of beef. I know we talked earlier about the Cadillac and the beef and some others that may not be the Cadillac of beef. Now, a ribeye, a New York cut, something like that. I mean, is it just difference with what part of the animal it's taken from, or what makes the difference?
Yes, it does make a difference. The muscles that are more tender, such as your ribeye, your New York strip, your tenderloin,
right,
they're muscles that the animal does not use much.
Right.
It's not attached. It doesn't have a lot of sinew and connective tissue. So that is up in its back, and it doesn't have a lot of movement involved. Now, you've got your shoulder and your legs and so forth. That's where a lot of tendon is involved. So you're going to have to, when you cook it, you're going to have to get some moisture with it.
Yeah. Okay, well, like I said, I know you do a lot of special orders. If somebody comes down here and wants a special order for something, you can pretty much handle that.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. But on top of that, what you got out front is pretty much a good selection for anybody.
It is. I'd say it's as large a meat selection as you'll find in a large area. I'd say maybe across the state of Kentucky. It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, well, I know you, again, you deal with people all over the state. Matter of fact, I told you, I think you said there's some people coming in next month or so. What association would that be?
American Association of Meat Processors National Convention is in Lexington on next month in July, and they are actually be 100 to 120 people touring my facility from all across the country, and a few from Europe.
And do you learn stuff from them, or what do you?
Definitely. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for AMP. And this is one of the most friendly businesses that you ever meet. I've stopped at many plants. They take me around to a tour just like what I'm doing you right now. They have nothing to hide.
All right, well, again, that's one of the things. I guess there's a lot of learning to do. If you bring somebody in, you just don't hand them a knife and say, go at it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of training to it, and they got a little knowledge about this. Definitely, and it takes a long time. All animals are not the same. Yeah. So you might cut one today, and it'd be totally different from one you do tomorrow. I mean, the cuts are basically the same, but a different amount of fat and lean ratio and a lot of different things that you got to determine as you're doing it. Well, when you speak of quality control, who makes the judgment on that? I mean, who goes around and looks, say, I believe this is a good cut of meat, this one here maybe not so much? Well, the USDA has a grading service, which you can use. I am under federal inspection, which is for quality, not necessary for, no, let me rephrase, not for quality, it's for wholesomeness. Okay. Now this is another branch of USDA that would actually do the grading and determine whether it was choice, select, prime, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So again, we just talked about, you bring, how many, do you have any idea how many cattle or how many hogs or whatever come through here on a week's time? Most of the time, right now, we're busy, but not quite as much we would be in the fall. We're handling somewhere between 20 and 30 cattle and about 50 to 60 hogs a week. Just mostly local, or people bring them in from everywhere? 100-mile radius. Okay. Yes. Okay, so they're bringing it in to sell, some bringing it in for you to actually just process and for them, so it's a variety of things. Exactly right. Some of it is some that I buy from some local farmers and we sell here, and a lot of it is what people bring in for their own use. And the table
farm to table thing in this state has exploded. A lot of people are doing that and going to farmers market and selling it and so forth. So we're really doing a lot of that also.
Well, that's what I guess I'm getting at. When they buy here, they know they're getting local. It's not beef from Canada or Mexico or somewhere else. It's coming from Central Kentucky.
A lot of it is, yes.
All right. Well, like I said, Jerry, got your son involved. I know he's the next generation. See any end in sight for generations?
Not at this time. I got a son, Matthew, involved, and also a daughter, Allison, which is also here. She just came back 2 or 3 years ago. So I think it's in very good hands.
All right. Well, I appreciate you letting us come back here in the back here and look around. If there's anything else you need for us to see, we'd be more than happy to look at it. But again, Boone's Butcher Shop's here in downtown Bardstown. It's down, it's the building with the bull on top, right at the corner of 150 and 31. Let's see, 150 and 62. I got to get my roads right here in a minute. Bloomfield Road, Springfield Road. You'll see it right in that area. So, Jerry, thank you very much for letting us come back in here and take a few minutes of your time and look around. Like I said, I've been in Bardstown for about 60 years, and it's the first time I've been back here. So hopefully a lot of people, this is the first time they've got a chance to look around. And, again, stop in. If you talk about fresh and quality, you're talking about Boone. So thank you very much. This is Community Focus. We'll be right back.